Ocean Element. Ocean Element.
You are welcome to yet another mathematics class. And we are still on the topic mensuration, and over the previous classes we've dealt with mensuration of plane shapes, solid shapes. Currently we are on solid shapes, okay? But today our subtopic under mensuration is the finding the surface area and the volume of the frustum of a cone. In our previous class we dealt with the topic a cone. Are you getting it? The mensuration of cone. So today we'll be going further to taking the frustum of that cone and pyramid. Alright? So in this class you should be able to solve evaluate the total surface area of the frustum of a cone. Secondly, you should be able to find the curved surface area of the frustum of a cone, and also you should be able to find the volume of the frustum of the cone, which is also applicable to pyramid. Alright? So I want you to pay attention to this class so that after this class you'll be able to solve in totality everything that has to do with the frustum and the surface area, the volume of the frustum of the cone, and that of the pyramid. Alright? So now let's move on to the class. Let's move on to the class, okay? Alright? Alright, this here is our topic for today, and our topic today is the frustum of a cone and that of what? The pyramid. Alright? So from this illustration, from this figure 1, alright? This is figure 1. Let's assume this is figure 1, okay? And this is figure 2, okay? Now from this figure 1, you can see that this here you are seeing a cone here, alright? You are seeing a cone. In fact, the total image, the complete image before was a cone, alright? So let me represent this here. Look at the board now, everybody. Let's assume this is the cone. This is the cone, alright? This is the cone. And a cone is a figure bounded by what? That has two radii. You understand? Because this cone, we have established that it was gotten from folding a sector. Are you getting it? Along its two radii. By the time you fold a sector, it forms a cone with a circular base. We have done all of this before, okay? So now, today's topic, we are dealing on the frustum of a cone. Now, the frustum of a cone has its own peculiar, specific mensuration, has its own formulas, different from that of a cone. Because we are not dealing on cone, we are dealing on the frustum. And what do we mean by frustum? This is a cone. By the time you cut through, alright, by the time you cut through this cone here, by the time you cut through this cone, you have something like this, okay? You have something like this, and you also have something like this, okay? Now let's remove this line. Let's remove this line. Are you following, class? If we should remove this line, you can see that we now have a smaller cone up. Why this bottom is no longer a cone? Because it has been cut out from the top. Alright? When you cut out a cone from the top, the remaining bottom, the remaining part below is what we call the frustum of that cone. It's no longer a complete cone. Alright? So let me bring it here. Look at the shape you will arrive at, okay? We arrive at this shape, something like this, okay? Something like this. You know it has been cut off. It was originally a cone, now it has been cut off. So this becomes the frustum of a cone. With the height from here, alright? So this is height, okay? The height of the frustum. Now this is the top radius, this is the bottom radius. Are you getting it now? So this figure, this shape gotten by cutting a cone from the top is called the frustum of the cone. Are you getting that? So let's move over to this figure again here. That is why you are seeing here. This is originally a cone. It was cut off while the bottom now becomes the frustum while we have a smaller cone up. Alright? this is a pyramid. I've asked you to study pyramid. This is a pyramid. Now, by the time you cut it through also, a small pyramid is formed at the top, while the frustum is formed at the bottom. So this is the frustum of the pyramid, while this is the frustum of a cone. Are you getting it now? So by the time you cut a cone into two from the top, you have a smaller cone and a frustum. By the time you cut a pyramid, you have the smaller pyramid and the frustum. That's why from this diagram you can see this point A and point B. I tagged it as the frustum. So this is frustum, this is frustum. While this is cone, this is a pyramid. Are you following now? Okay. So this is what we meant by the frustum of a cone. Are you getting it? Just draw a cone. All right. Draw a cone. Cut it into two. By cutting it, you know, a circular top will now be formed. Hello? A circular top will now be formed. And on this smaller cone, a circular base will also be formed. Are you getting it? So by the time you remove it, you have something that this becomes the frustum and this becomes the cone. Are you following now? Alright, so now let me just give you a little time to write it down. Let me give you a little time to write it down before I clean the board, before we forge ahead, okay? So you can see this is the frustum of the cone. Alright, you can see the top part of the cone as the cone, while the bottom is the frustum of the cone. Now we also have pyramid. The pyramid is at the top. Why? Because you have cut across the pyramid. What we have at the bottom on that figure 2 is actually the frustum of the pyramid. Don't forget, our topic today is the frustum of the cone and that of the pyramid. All right, are you following, class? Okay. All right, I believe you have written it now. So you can write this down. If a cone or a pyramid standing on a horizontal table is cut across parallel to the table, the top part is the smaller cone or the smaller pyramid, all right? While the other part is called the frustum, all right? That means if a cone or a pyramid, you place it on a horizontal table and you cut across parallel to the table, the top part is called the cone, while the bottom part is called the pyramid. Alright? Alright? So now we are going to be finding the total surface area of the frustum of the cone. Alright? We are still going to be finding the curved surface area of the frustum of the cone or pyramid, and we are also going to be asked to find the volume of the frustum of the cone. Many a time you will always be asked to find the volume of the pyramid. Okay, the volume of the frustum of the pyramid. All right. So now let's move ahead to this other part of the board where we'll be taking some of the formulas applicable in the solution of the frustum of the cone, which is our subtopic today under mesuration. All right. Now here are the basic formulas. All right. Here are the basic formulas as used in determining the properties as it relates to the frustum of the cone. Well, number one, you can be asked to find the curved surface area of the cone. Curved surface area of the frustum, okay, of the frustum of a cone. Alright? You know the curved surface area of a cone, normally when we did it before, this curved surface area, the CS say the curved surface area of the cone is pi RL. That is the formula for calculating the curved surface area of a cone. But what we are dealing on today is the frustum of the cone. So the formula for calculating the curved surface area of the frustum of the cone is not the same as the formula for solving the curved surface area of just a cone. Don't forget in evaluating that of the frustum of the cone, don't forget you have cut across the cone. Therefore, if you are forming two images, you have the cone at the top, you have the frustum. So the formulas are not the same. So the formula for calculating the frustum of this cone is pi big arrow L minus pi small arrow L. This is the formula for calculating the curved surface area of the frustum of a cone. Are you getting it? Why this is just the formula for calculating the what? The curved surface area of the cone. Don't forget, please, don't miss it up. I just want to create a variation. That's why I'm writing it there. For that of a cone, just the cone, for you to find the curved surface area is pi arrow L. Why for the frustum of the cone is now pi arrow L minus pi arrow L, because two figures or two shapes have been formed as a result of the line you cut across parallel to the horizontal table. Are you getting it now? So another thing you can be asked to look for is the total surface. Is the total surface area of the frustum of a cone. Also, the total surface area of the frustum of a cone is different from the total surface area of the cone. Now, you know the total surface area of the cone is pi arrow square plus pi arrow L. Alright? This is the formula for calculating the total surface area of a cone. Alright? So, but in this context now, we are dealing with the total surface area of the frustum of the cone. So the total surface area of the frustum of the cone will now be pi arrow square plus pi arrow square, which is the big pi arrow square, the smaller one, all right? Then plus the curved surface area. Curved surface area. This is the formula for calculating the total surface area of the cone. All right? Are you getting now? You know for cone, you only have just one circular base, alright? That's why you're having pi arrow square plus the curved surface area. This is curved surface area of the cone. But for total surface area of the frustum, this will now replicate itself, alright? Because we now have the top circular, we have a circular shape at the top. We also have a circular shape at the bottom. That's why you are now having pi arrow square plus pi arrow square, which is representing this. Are you following, class? So it becomes pi arrow square plus pi arrow square plus the curved surface area of the frustum of the cone now becomes this. So you open the bracket, you can put it as pi arrow L minus pi arrow L. You can see now. So this is the total formula for solving the total surface area of the frustum of the cone. Why this pi arrow square plus pi arrow L is the formula for calculating the total surface area of a cone. Are you getting it now? So this is how to solve. So by the time you solve your curved surface area, once you are solving your total surface area, by the time you substitute the value of pi arrow square plus pi arrow square, just plus any answer you get here, just put it here, plus everything together, you get the total surface area of the frustum of that particular cone. Alright? So finally, number 3, you can be asked to find the volume of the frustum. Okay? The volume. Okay? You can be asked to find the volume of the frustum of the cone. Now, the volume for calculating the formula for calculating the volume of the cone is 1/3 of the base area pi arrow square h times height. This is the basic formula for calculating the volume of this cone. You know, I'm trying to make a comparison between a cone now and the frustum of a cone. These are the properties for the frustum of the cone. Why these are the properties for the what? That of the cone. Why this one is the frustum of a cone. So if the formula for calculating the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi arrow square h, who can now tell me the formula for calculating the volume of the frustum? Let me give you 2 seconds. Who can tell me in the class? Look at the board. Who can tell me, who can give me this formula in relation to 1/3 pi arrow square h? Since we are not talking about the frustum. Because the frustum is like double of that, the properties of a cone. Because you now have 2 images because of the line you cut across at the top. So who can give me this formula? Alright, look at the formula. If the volume of the cone is 1/3 pi arrow square h, the volume of the frustum of the cone will be 1/3 big pi arrow square h minus 1/3 pi arrow square h. So this becomes the formula for calculating the volume of the frustum. Don't forget, it's the volume of the frustum of a cone, not the volume of a cone. Here is the volume of a cone. Are you following now? So that is how to resolve this. So let me just go over again before we apply. We are going to be applying these formulas in solving a problem. We are going to give you an example. We apply all these formulas. Okay. So I said the three basic things you'll be asked to look for under the frustrum of a cone. You can be asked to find the curved surface area of the frustrum of a cone. I said the formula is what? Pi arrow L minus pi arrow L. All right. Where L is the slant height. Okay, slant height. Why this one is a slant height, the smaller side, why this one is the bigger side, alright? So now number 2, we have the total surface area. We said the total surface area is pi arrow square plus pi small arrow square plus the curved surface area. Of course, this is the curved surface area as we have obtained before, right? So you just put it here. It becomes pi arrow square plus pi arrow square plus pi arrow L minus pi arrow L. Don't forget this L is the slant height, while this L is also the slant height in terms of the size, the big and the smallest part of the slant height. Alright? So now this is the volume. We said the volume of the frustrum is 1/3 pi arrow square h minus 1/3 pi small arrow square small h. This becomes the volume for calculating the frustrum of the cone. While what we have here are just the properties, the curved surface area of the cone, the total surface area of the cone, and the volume of the cone. So I want you to write it down now. Let me give you just some little time for you to write it down before we proceed. All right? You can go through. Okay, so you can see, hope you have written it down. Don't confuse the formula for calculating the measuration for the frustrum for that of a cone. There are distinctions between them. You can see where you have pi arrow L, you have this. Where you have pi arrow square plus pi arrow L, you have this. Where you have 1/3 pi arrow square h, you have that for that of the frustrum. Alright? So now before we go ahead, just go through the diagram again. That is the formula. Those are the diagram for the frustrum of a cone and that of the pyramid. And after that, we went straight to taking the formulas applicable in solving and evaluating the frustrum of that cone. Alright, so let's move over to an example where we will apply all these basic formulas. Alright? Alright. Now, here is an example on the frustrum of a cone. Alright? Now the question is, the figure below shows a frustrum of a cone whose bottom and top radii are 18 cm and 14 cm respectively. If the height is 20 cm, don't forget the height is the height of the frustrum. If the height is 20 cm, we are asked to calculate A, its curved surface area, B, its total surface area, then C, its volume. Now here is the figure below. You can see the figure below is the frustrum of a cone, as I've explained before. Alright, you know the original shape, the complete shape is supposed to be a cone, but has been cut off from the top, so now leaving us with the frustrum of a cone. And the height of the frustrum of this cone is 20 cm. The top radius is 14 cm. The bottom radius is 18 cm. Now we have to find A, the curved surface area, B, its total surface area, C, its volume. Already I've given you the formulas for solving curved surface area, total surface area, and volume. So it's just for us to plug in our values and we are done with this question. Alright? So let's apply it. Let's comment and write solution. Alright? Solution. Now, the first thing you do is, you know the frustrum, the original shape, the complete shape where the frustrum was gotten is actually from the cone. Alright? So the first thing you will do first is to let's reproduce it. The first step is to reproduce that frustrum to the complete shape where you got it from. Alright? You know this is the frustrum as given in the diagram. Alright, in the figure, and we are given here to this place, we are given here as 20 cm. Alright? We are given here as 18 cm. And we are given here as 14 cm. The first thing is to reproduce this frustrum to the complete shape. Alright? So if you reproduce it, you know originally it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like this, right? This is the complete shape. Alright? So that is the first step you do. You reproduce it to form the complete shape where the frustrum was gotten. All right. So by doing this, don't forget. Let me sketch it again. Hope you are following. All right. Let's leave it this way. All right. Are you seeing it now? Now, don't forget question number 1. We are asked to find the curved surface area. And we have established before now that the curved surface area is pi big arrow L minus pi small arrow L. So now you can see we are already giving the value of r. R is 18, while the small r is 14. This is for the bottom radius, this is for the top radius. But if you check the question, we are not given anything like slant height. Then we need to look for the value of the slant height. Okay, we have to look for the value of the slant height. Also, you know, if we want to solve the volume, then it has something to do with height. We don't even know our height yet. So what you need to do first is to look for the slant height. You look for the height so that you just plug in the values once you have resolved those parameters. All right. So because now from here down to this place is the big L we are talking about, while from this point to this point here is a small l. That this is a big L from here to the bottom here, while the small l is from the top to this top here. Are you getting it now? So this is the small l. So we need to find the value of L and find the value of L so that we'll get a parameter to substitute here because we're not giving it in the question. Alright? So similarly, the vertical height from this apex here up to this point. Now, this becomes small h. Since this is small l, here is also small h. Alright? So now we need to determine the value of big h. Because when we are talking the volume, we are going to apply the formula 1/3 square h. So we need to find the value of the small h now, and also find the value of the big h. We find the value of the big L, and also find the value of the small l. Now, the small h is from here to this point. While the big h is from here to this bottom. Already don't forget that the given 20 cm are part on the height. So we have to find small h. By the time we find the small h, we add up the value to the 20 to get the big h. Are you following now? Are you following? So what we have to do now is to find, let's find big L. Now, to determine the value of this parameter, you can apply a similar triangle, similar shape. You compare them, you relate them. You are related by linear relation. Compare them. You need to determine one parameter, choose another, and you get it. Are you getting it now? So now, for us to get the value of h, since we have the small h and we have the radius at 14, also we have the big radius at 18, so we can determine the value of h. So now, what we simply do is say by similar shape, okay, by similar shape, h over 14 is equal to, that means the small h over the small r is equal to the big h, and the big h is h plus 20. Are you getting it now? So it becomes h plus 20 over the radius. So you are comparing height and radius, okay? So you can find the small h now. In finding small h, you can cross multiply, alright? H times 18 will give us 18h, alright? Equal to 14 times this will give us 14h plus 20, alright? So the next thing you do is to open the bracket. 14 times h should give us 14h, alright? So 14 times 20 will give us 280, alright? So the next thing you do, you collect like terms. So this becomes 18h minus 14h equal to what? 280, alright? So this becomes 18h minus 14h should give us 4h, alright? So it becomes 28. Divide both side by 4, 4 cancels 4, h becomes what? 280 divided by 4 will give us 70 centimeter. So this 70 centimeter now is the value of from the top to this point, this small h. This small h now is now 70 centimeter. Don't forget, we are trying to determine the big h. So how do we get the big h? If small h is 70 and the height of the frustrum of the cone is 20, how do we get from top to this point? It will be, for us to get big h, it will be what? 70 plus 20 will give us what? 90 cm. So 90 cm is the distance or the height from this point to this point. Why from this point to this point is 70? Here we already have the top radius, we also have the bottom radius. Are you following now? So now that we have determined the value of h, we have determined the value of the small h and the big h. Don't forget, what we are asked to look for question 1 is the curved surface area of the frustrum of a cone, and one of the parameters there is big L and small l. So now that we have gotten the value of small h and also gotten the value of big H, we can now adopt the Pythagoras theorem, because this has led us to a right angle triangle. Are you following, class? This has led us to a right angle triangle, because if I'm to bring it here, it's better let's determine all the parameters so that it will be easier for us to substitute the values. All right? Now let's assume from here to here is this point here, h, which we have resolved to be what? 70. You just put the 70 here, 70 cm. Already you know the radius, which is this top here. What I'm solving for now is this smaller part. Are you getting? This top part is what I'm resolving now, so that I can get this small L. After getting it, I will now evaluate all the shapes in order for me to get big L. Once I get big L, get small h, get big H, I'll just substitute it into the parameters, then we match on. Alright? So here becomes 14 cm. That means I need to get small l. Alright? I need to get small l. So using Pythagoras theory, I'm going to be having L square equal to 70 square plus 14 square in order for me to get small l. Are you following, class? So 70 square will give us 4,900. 14 square will give us 196. So L square becomes 4,900 plus 196 will give us 5,096. So in order for you to remove the square, you take the square root. Okay, the square root of 5,096 will end up giving us press the calculator. The square root of 5,796 70 what? 71 point what? 3. Okay, 9. Okay, can stop there. So the square root of 5,096 will give us what? 71.39 centimeter. Now you have gotten the value of your small l, which you will substitute here. All right, you are going to substitute 71.39 here. So, but we need to get the big L also. Similarly, just as we did here, we have to find the value of big L. But before I do that, before I clean the board, I want you to quickly write it down. Write it down. Okay, I want you to write it down. You can see the curved surface area, how we determine the small h by comparison by similar shapes. We have h over 14 plus that. We cross multiplied. We are able to get that. No, collect like terms, h becomes 70. So 70 plus 20. 20 was the frustrum of the height of the frustrum of the cone as given to us from the question. By the time we added up, we got 90 as a big H. So in order for us to get the small l, we use Pythagoras theorem. 70 here, then 14 cm at the base, then L become the hypotenuse. Applying Pythagoras theorem, we got L squared, 70 squared plus 14 squared. Everything, by the time you resolve that, you are going to be having 71.39 centimeters. So write it down so that I can clean in order for us to determine the value of the BL. Okay? Alright? Okay. So now let's look for the value of the big L. Alright? Permit me to clean up this place. Permit me to clean up this place since you have written it down in your notes, so that I can determine the value of the big L. In order for me to determine the value of the big L, I will now be considering from this point to this point, which is something like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, are you seeing it now? So from this point to that point, so this becomes big L, this becomes 18 cm, all right, and this becomes big H. We have already solved for big H, and our big H we got it as a 90 degree. All right, we got it as 90 degree. When we added up 20 plus 70, we got 90 degree. All right, so from here you also apply the Pythagoras theorem. All right, you also apply the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, you apply the Pythagoras theorem. Who can tell me how to apply the Pythagoras theorem to determine the value of the big L? Let me give you some seconds to think about it and give me the answer. Alright, if you have gotten your answer, drop your answer at the comment section of this video. Just look downward and drop your answer at the comment section of this video. I will see it and reply you, okay? Alright, now I want to solve it. When you have 90, you have 18, how do you find the value of L? Just determine it and drop your answer with your name at the comment section of this video. I will check it and respond to you accordingly. Alright? So what will we do now? Let's solve it. Let's solve it. Okay, the time is off. Let's look at the board, everybody. Now, since this place is L, we also use Pythagoras theorem. This becomes L squared equal to 90 squared plus 18 squared. Alright? So this becomes L squared equal to 8,000, the square of 90 is 8,100 plus 18 square is 324. So by the time we add it up, 8100 plus 324 will arrive at 8424. Are you following now? So by the time we take the square root of that, the square root of 8424 L, by the time you take the square root of 8424, you are going to be having 91.78 centimeters. So this becomes big L. So this is our value for big L. This is the value of what? Small l. Now we have succeeded in evaluating the value of small h, big H, small l, and big L. Now that we have resolved all these parameters, it's just for us to plug in our values. Okay? It's just for us to plug in our values. Alright? So please write it down so that I can clean the board. Alright? I'm just trying to manage the board. Write it down so that I can manage the board. Alright? Okay, hope you have this diagram is already in your notebook. I'm going to clean it now so that I can use this space in solving the problems. Alright? Okay, now, alright, so I'll be cleaning now. Now we have determined all the parameters we have to use in solving this problem, and I'm going to list them here. Alright? Now we have gotten small h, don't forget, I've gotten small h already. The small h we got it as 70 cm, don't forget, and we got big H as 90 cm. Alright? So we got small l as the small l we got it as 71.39 cm from our solution, and we got big L as what? 91.78 cm. Here are the parameters we have solved for. Without these parameters, you cannot start solving the problem, because you need these parameters to solving those problems. Because when you be asked to find the curved surface area, you need L. When you be asked to find the total surface area, you need the curved surface area. When you be asked to find the volume, you need H. So the first thing you do after reproducing the diagram function to the completion, make sure you determine all these parameters and keep it somewhere. So what you need to do now is just to start plugging in, and life becomes very easy. Alright? So I'm going to be taking up everything so that we'll have enough space to demonstrate this. Alright? So any question you have, drop it at the comment section below. Drop it at the comment section below. I will check it, then revert back. Alright? So number one, we have to find the curved surface area of the fulcrum of the cone. And I will give the formula as pi arrow L minus pi arrow L. Alright? We have given the formula as pi arrow L minus pi arrow L. It's just for us to plug in our values. So it becomes 3.142 is the value for pi times the big radius times the big radius times the big radius. Big radius is 18 times the big L, we have solved for it, which is 91.78, alright, minus 3.142 times the small radius is 14, alright, times the small L we have solved for 71.39. You see, assuming you have not solved for these parameters, it becomes very difficult. So by the time you multiply this 3.142 times this, by the time you multiply it, you're going to be arriving at 5190.71, alright? So minus, by the time you evaluate this also, 3.142 times 14 times 71.39, you get 3140.30, alright? So by the time you subtract this, you arrive at 2050 points, alright? This is 71, this is 30. By the time you subtract that, you're going to be having 0, then 3, alright? So this becomes the answer. 2050.30 square centimeter becomes the curved surface area of the frustum of the cone. Alright? So let's go to number 2. We have to find the total surface area of the cone. We have given the formula before. The total surface area of the cone, of the frustum of the cone rather, is pi arrow square plus pi arrow square, alright, plus the curved surface area, which we have already solved for. So it's just for you to do 3.142, alright, times 18 square plus 3.142 times 14 square plus the curved surface area you have solved for is already 2050.30. Alright? Are you following now? Are you following now? So from here, this, by the time you 18 square times this, you are going to be arriving at you evaluate this value here, you evaluate this value because of time, you evaluate it after now, evaluate this, evaluate it. Then by the time you add up, all these parameters, all these values, you are going to be arriving at 36, alright? 3684, alright, 0.25 square centimeter. So this becomes the total surface area of the frustum of the cone, alright? So evaluate it and you arrive at that answer, okay? Number 3, finally, you are asked to find the volume of the frustum of the cone, alright? And we have established also that the volume is 1/3 of the base area times height minus 1/3 of the base area times small height. Thank God we have looked for the value of h, we have also looked for the value of small h. Just for you to substitute your value, it becomes 1/3 times 3.142 times the big R is 18 square times the big H. We got big H as 90. Don't forget, we got the big H as 90 from the diagram earlier on. This becomes 1/3 times 3.142 times the small r is 14 as given from in the question, square, times the big small H is 70. Alright? So by the time you do this, evaluate everything here, you are going to be having 305, okay, 18 square, 30540.2, okay, 0.2 minus 1/. By the time you evaluate this also, you have 14. Are you following class? 369.41. All right. So by the time you subtract this, you are going to be arriving at 161. You know, 6 and 4. You have 7. Okay. 7. Okay. 0. This minus this, you have 8. All right. Cube centimeter. That is the unit of volume. Cube centimeter. But it's always advisable you leave your volumes in terms of liters. You leave it in liters. Don't forget, 1000 cube centimeter is equal to 1 liters. Okay, 1000 cube what? Please let's bring it here. Let's have the final answer here for volume. You see, 1 but 1000 cube centimeter equal to 1 liters. All right. Okay. So if 1000 cube centimeter equal to 1 liters, means that 16170.8 cube centimeter equal to what? It will equal to 16170.8 divided by 1000. All right. So the liters now will now become 16170.8. You move it 1, 2, 3. It becomes 16.171 liters. All right, liters. So this becomes the volume of the frustum of the comb in liters. This is in centimeter, cube centimeter. This is in liter. Always leave your answer in liters. So after getting your volume in centimeter, divide by 1000 to make to change it to liters. All right. So this is how to apply the formulas on the frustum of the cone in solving problems. So let me give you a little time to write it down before we call it a day. All right. We solved for the various parameters H, big H, L, small l, and big L. We substituted into the formula for curved surface area. We resolved that, or we got that. Then TSA, the total surface area, is pi r square plus CSA. We got that. Then the volume, of course, 1/3 of the base area times height. Then we solved it. Then we converted cube centimeter to liters by dividing through by 1000. All right. So that is all about the application of the formula. This was the question. All right. This was the question. Okay. That is the frustum as given in the question. All right. So those are the parameters we solved from the diagram. Then we solve for the various requirements we have to solve for the CSA, the TSA, and the volume. So this brings us to the end of the class. After this class, I want you to go through all we've learned today. Any question, any complaint, go to the comment section and drop your complaints and questions. I will answer them and revert to you. All right. So please follow up this class. Our topic today is the frustum of the cone. So after now, we'll be sending down across to you some questions to solve based on the topic learned today. So stay safe, stay blessed till we meet again in our next class. God bless you. Bye.